Dámy a páni, som naozaj veľmi rada, že tu môžem pri mne privítať naozaj atletku svetových rozmerov, ale ešte predtým, ako vám samozrejme predstavíme nášho vzácneho hostia, pretože sme sa vydali po stopách maratónskych legend, tak samozrejme dám úplne na úvod ešte slovo riaditeľovi pretekov Medzinárodného maratónu mieru, ktorým je Branislav Koliar.
Takže dovolte mne aj nám všetkým vás privítať na tomto formáte, ktorý sme si zvolili pár hodín pred štartom maratónu. Som rád, že ste prišli, že máte záujem o hostia, ktorý tu dlho nebol. Hostia, ktorý je veľmi vzácny, verím, že bude aj veľmi príjemný v komunikácii s vami, ktorý má nám čo povedať. Má čo povedať fanúšikom športu a behu na Slovensku, má čo povedať ženám, ktoré sa púšťajú alebo už pustili do športovania a do behu ako do aktivity, ktorá ich zaujíma. My sa na to všetci tešíme. Máme na to zhruba hodinku, lebo program je neúprostný, takže verím, že Radka a Ingrid to zvládnu a že príde čas aj na vaše otázky, ktoré položíte. Vítajte ešte raz a vraciam slovo Radke a Ingrid.
Veľmi radi by sme vám teda úplne takto na úvod, všetci ste tu prišli, pretože určite viete, kto je pani Ingrid Kristiansen, ale pre istotu, aby sme to mali naozaj takto v kocke, now I'm going to just introduce a very short of your bio, but first maybe really like welcome you. So welcome Ingrid Kristiansen. Prosím na úvod, ešte privítajme Ingrid Kristiansen aj našim podcastom.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tak na úvod také naozaj krátke bio, pretože Ingrid v detstve začínala naozaj s takým typickým severským športom, takže beh na lyžiach, naše klasické bežkovanie, aj v tom bola výborná, získala niekoľko juniorských titulov. Neskôr sa začala venovať teda atletike a keď teda robíme taký výpočet jej výnimočných úspechov, tak naozaj sa nedá nespomenúť tituly majsterky sveta naozaj na všetkých povrchoch, to znamená aj na dráhe, aj na asfalte, ale aj v cross-country behoch. To, že teda bola účastníčkou olympiády, kde vôbec ženy poprvýkrát si obuli maratónky na nohy, bolo to v roku 1984, bolo to v Los Angeles, tam skončila na 4. mieste, ale práve tá taká myšlienka, že ženy, beh a maratón idú spolu, práve keďže privítame v tomto ročníku 40. víťazku Medzinárodného maratónu mieru, pretože tu sa to začalo behať o 4 roky neskôr, však vrania tak pozerám, či teda všetko v poriadku. A práve preto tu máme Ingrid Kristiansen a bude jej samozrejme gratulovať. Budeme tu mať aj juniorskú štafetu, aj tá poniesie teda názov štafeta Ingrid Kristiansen a všetci títo juniori budú dekorovaní ňou samotnou a dostanú takúto pamätnú medailu. No a aby sme teda neopomenuli žiaden z tých velikánskych úspechov, tak musíme naozaj povedať, že tie najväčšie víťazstvá boli určite, keď bežala na dráhe 5000 metrov a ako prvá žena vôbec to posunula pod 15 minút. Neskôr to bol úžasný výkon 2 hodiny 21 minút a 6 sekúnd na maratóne v Londýne a tento rekord držala dlhých 13 rokov. No, za 13 rokov nevedel nikto predbehnúť. It's great when I'm talking about you in slide, right? You have long career, so long period. Ale ja ešte teraz samozrejme musím spomenúť, že potom prišiel fakt úžasný taký, myslím, že v meste nad Temžou si ju budú pamätať a pamätajú si a vrila sa hlboko, pretože tam zvíťazila v 84., 85., 86., aj 88. a potom v Bostone dvakrát, v Chicagu, v New Yorku. No a potom má ešte jeden skvelý rekord, bolo to v behu na 10 000 metrov a ten držala neuveriteľných 16 rokov. A dodnes teda ju nikto neprekonal v samotnom Nórsku, takže tam to drží aj na dráhe, ale aj v maratóne a polmaratóne stále proste najlepšia. So, I just make small cube.
Yeah.
Som urobila malú kocku z tejto kariéry. So, really, your long career and now you're still active, right?
I'm not still active, but I'm a jogger. So I'm active enough as a woman over 60, but I'm not competing anymore on high level. I just jog and run for fun.
Takže už nie som naozaj v mojej aktívnej kariére, alebo teda už nepokračujem v tej aktívnej kariére, teraz skôr behávam pre radosť. For fun it means that you are trainer, consultant, and many runners are coming to you for an advice, right?
Yes, I like to be a coach and try to learn people how to run and how to train, and especially young athletes who are willing to do a lot, and they think they have to run too much, too hard, eating like a rabbit, and everything has to be like focused on the running. And I try to learn them that you need to have a life besides the running. You have to be happy and like to do what you're doing. I'm feeling that a lot of the runners out there today, they are more like the watches. The watches tells you have to go out and train. The watches tells you you're in good shape. The watches tells you have to sleep. So they don't focus on listen to your body anymore. And I was a really good runner to listen to my body. And this was some problems for my coach now and then, because he meant that I should have trained a little bit more sometimes, but when I really got the results, he said, you do the right.
Pýtal si sa, že teda aj napriek tomu, že teda aktívna kariéra je ukončená, tak stále si prichádzajú bežci a atleti Ingrid pre radu a vravila, že áno, je to pravda. Je rada v pozícii kouča, je rada v pozícii trénerky, špeciálne rada trénuje mladých ľudí, ktorých naozaj atletika zaujíma, ale že dnešný svet sa naozaj točí okolo toho, ako robiť veci správne. Ľudia a mladí atleti nepočúvajú svoje telo, pozerajú hlavne na hodinky a hodinky im povedia, teraz choď vonku a bež, teraz by si mal oddychovať toľko hodín. A práve ten jedálniček prísne a všetky tieto veci možno nemusia byť až také prísne. Ingrid vravela, že teda jej veľkou výhodou bolo, že veľakrát ona má pocit teda, že tie výsledky sa dostavili, pretože ona bola dobrá v tom, že počúvala svoje telo. A veľakrát mali možno aj také konflikty s jej trénerom, pretože myslel si, že by mala trénovať viac, ale keď sa dostavili výsledky, tak zistil, že áno, mala si pravdu, dobre, že si to urobila po svojom. You're coming from the country that we would expect more like Norwegian sport, like cross-country skiing or those kind of sports on the snow. Orienteering, yeah. As well. Right.
I started as a cross-country skier. I was one of the best Norwegian cross-country skiers, and in my age, up to I was 20. Then I studied, and I was on the Norwegian Olympic team in 1976, and the World Championship in 78. So I did a lot of cross-country skiing before I started running. So I think I can thank the skiing, my cross-country skiing background, that I got as good as I get, because training for cross-country skiing helps you to be really even more heart and lung trained. So I was in better shape than most of the runners, because most of the runners, for example in Norway today and also before, they are more they think more about the step you're doing and how fast you're running on the training. But I never thought of that. I was training because I like to train. I run in the forest, I run on the road, I run on the track. I did what I like to do, and that helps me to be a really good runner.
Ja som sa zaujímala, pretože na nórskú atlétku alebo vôbec na niekoho z Nórska by sme mohli možno že očakávať, že teda bude robiť niečo ako bežkovanie, po prípade naozaj ten orientačný beh je tam veľmi rozšírený. A Ingrid teda vravila, že v konci 70. rokov bola dokonca aj v olympijskom volá sa to výbor? Hovorím tomu olympijský výber, ktorý práve v týchto zimných športoch, ale potom teda vravila, že vďačí naozaj bežkovaniu za to, že bola možno v oveľa lepšej forme ako atleti vtedajšej doby. A vďaka tomu teda naozaj mala z toho behávania radosť, pretože behala či už v lese, či už na ceste. Takže tak. So yeah, you could really jump in. Že by do toho môže skočiť.
Yeah.
So, what I wonder, how it's, in which position is athletic in general in your country compared to all those main sports like orienteering and cross-country skiing?
Cross-country skiing is the second sport in Norway, because the first sport is football. It's all over the countries, almost on But the skiing is very popular, and I think we lose a lot of the good runners into the skiing in Norway, just because if you are a good skier, you are a big hero in Norway. I switched over to being a runner because I moved to a place in Norway where we almost had no snow. And my husband and I lived in the west coast of Norway, and then I started to run. I walked and I ran, and suddenly I was one of the best runners in Norway. And that kept going, and after some years I became European best and then the world's best. So running is much more a good sport because it's easier to do it. You don't need too much money, you only need a pair of shoes, and you just go out and run. Especially if you are not doing short runs like sprint and all this technical track and field events is more difficult. But being a long distance runner, you can be a good long distance runner from if you live in Norway or if you live in warmer countries. It's easy. You need to train enough and not too much and not too fast. So it's easy.
Takže naozaj veľmi jednoduché byť dobrou bežkyňou, to preložím úplne na úvod. Naozaj treba trénovať veľa, ale nie príliš veľa a netreba trénovať príliš rýchlo. Takže toto je celkom pekné posolstvo pre všetkých, ktorí behávajú. Bavili sme sa teda o tom, akú má pozíciu atletika ako taká v Nórsku. Dozvedeli sme sa teda, že áno, je to šport, ktorý je vykonávaný, ale aj číslo 1 je samozrejme futbal, číslo 2 sú práve teda lyžiarske športy a keď naozaj je človek dobrý lyžiar v Norsku, tak je takým ako národným hrdinom. No a prečo teda Ingrid Kristiansen sa vyzula bežky a teda obula si či už maratónky alebo tretry, tak je to jednoduché, presťahovali sa s manželom na také miesto Norska, kde nebol sneh, takže vlastne nič iné nezostávalo, ako teda stať sa bežkyňou. No a potom to prišlo, tie európske úspechy a svetové úspechy. You are really one of the runners who achieve the world best results on the road, on the track, as well as in cross-country running. What is your favorite?
Of course, I love the long distance, but I don't think I have been as good in marathon and in a half marathon if it hadn't been for I have been running also 1,500 meter on track and also 5,000 and 10,000 meter in the road and also in cross country. It makes the training more interesting because I can switch over from running in the mud, in the forest, in the mountains, sometimes on the track, sometimes. So it's more interesting training, and your head is not focused only on one thing. You can focus. Sometimes you can focus on the long run, and sometimes in the shorter races. So I think that's helped me to be the best one in all these disciplines.
Well, what's your favorite? Is it something favorite in between of all those three disciplines?
No, not.
Like switching.
I like switching, but of course, if I want to run many good races a year, it's easier to do it in a shorter race. You can't do more than, for me, I couldn't do more than 2 marathons a year. And if you do 2 marathons a year and you do nothing else, then you have to train half a year and then run a race. And then train a half a year and then run a race. And if it's too warm and windy the day you are racing, you do a bad race. So it's better to do something, also something shorter between, so you can do some good races now and then. So makes me to feel I'm improving all the time.
Mm-hmm. More victories, right? Bavili sme sa teda o tom, že Ingrid Kristiansen dosiahla na všetkých povrchoch svetové úspechy, ktorý je jej najobľúbenejší. A tak teda prezradila, že naozaj, keď človek beží tie dlhé preteky, ako je maratón alebo polmaratón, tak skutočne sa potrebuje na to sústrediť a ak beží výlučne napríklad len cestu, tak pre ňu osobne vedela zabehnúť, alebo pre ňu bolo také optimum behávať 2 maratóny počas roka, nie viac. A keď by nezostala napríklad iba pri tej ceste, tak vravela, že teda by musela trénovať pol roka, potom si dať jedny preteky, trénovať opäť pol roka, dať si druhé preteky. A keby napríklad ten deň pršalo alebo bolo veterno, tak by sa kľudne mohlo stať, že tie preteky skrátka nevyjdú. A to je to, čo podľa nej aj frustruje mnohých bežcov, ktorí to takto majú. Takže ju veľmi bavilo, keď to mohla prepínať, keď mohla ísť naozaj na preteky na dráhu, keď mohla ísť na cestu. Yeah. I could imagine that it sounds funny for you. Svojím predstaviť teda, že to môže znieť smiešne. Because people who are from abroad, they said that Slovak sounds really fast for them.
Yeah, it's fast, yeah.
Slovenčina je naozaj tak veľmi rýchly jazyk, keď nás počúvajú zahraniční, že hovoríme naozaj. As fast as you're running, you see?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not. That's definitely.
A ženská slovenčina je rýchla.
Ženská slovenčina, no. Women speaking.
Yeah.
Because we would like to tell a lot in 1 minute. And what about the girls and running? You were there in Los Angeles, where there was on the Olympics, there was a first marathon, and they let girls enter in, women's enter in. What about the atmosphere there? I really wonder how it was that time.
Yes, it was a good atmosphere, and of course it was nice to be in the Olympics as a marathon runner. I did European Championship 2 years before. The first time we did the marathon in Championship, and also the World Championship the year before in Helsinki. Then I wasn't in that race because my oldest son, was born in the the World Championship in '83. But of course, it's an atmosphere. But still, we felt that was something that the woman had to be in the race because somebody had told us that we can be in the marathon in the Olympics. We had to do the same as the men, so we were still a second field. But of course, having one of the leaders in the long distance as a marathon runner from US helps for the crowd to share a lot, because John Benoit was in the field and she was American, and she won the race. So yeah, I had a successful race in that day. So for me, it was a bad day.
I mean, 4th place is
bad. It's not good. I came to the Los Angeles for winning the race.
Okay, I see. Tak sme sa bavili teda o tom, aká bola atmosféra. V Los Angeles to bola prvá olympiáda, teda, kde si ženy obuli maratónky a bolo im povolené teda bežať. A ako sa na to teda spomína Ingrid vravila teda, že rok predtým sa jej narodil syn, ale aj napriek tomu išla do Los Angeles s tým, že to teda chcela vyhrať. No a keďže víťazka bola z US, tak bola to naozaj fantastická atmosféra a cítili, že teda je to taký veľký milník pre ženy vôbec táto olympiáda. We are in Košice, we are very proud that we also let the women enter the International Peace Marathon just 4 years after.
Yeah, that's good.
But still. Takže sme píšni Košičania, že teda sme po 4 rokoch od olympiády v Los Angeles sme teda aj my umožnili štart ženám.
4 roky pred.
4 roky pred.
80. Los Angeles 84.
84, a my sme to už urobili v 80. Tak to je moja ženská matematika. Okay, I was a little bit mistaken in the math. So we let the girls running 4 years before.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. That's good. So, takže sme naozaj ešte viac píšni teda na túto skutočnosť. But when we compare the percentage of the women running in international events such as in Japan, in US, it's really around 40-50, and here in Europe it's still somewhere around 20%. So what do you think, what could be the cause of this?
I think more races with women into the race, and also they are in the men's race, not only women's race. I don't believe in only women's race. I think it's better to have everybody in the same race, because if you have friends going to races. It's nice to sometimes maybe the guys will run a marathon and the women will run a half marathon first time, and so they can go and have a nice trip to another country, be introduced to running, have fun, have a nice trip. So I think maybe that is a way more women can come into the race instead of like me, go for goals, going for times and all this. It's for me what's because I like to train, I like to run, and I became the best. But it's not so many women who is thinking like me. So I think going easily into have fun, smile, this is fun, train for the next year, have new goals. I think that's good for the women's racing.
Bavili sme sa o tom teda, že čo teda je, ako by možno, že povzbudila Ingrid Kristiansen ženské osadenstvo behu. A je tam taká celkom pekná rada, teda, že naozaj je dôležité možno ísť po tých takých skôr radostných momentoch z behu, takže ísť urobiť si výlet s tým partnerom, možno partner bude bežať celý maratón a tá jeho partnerka polmaratón, urobiť si výlet do inej krajiny, možno je to príležitosť naozaj cestovať. Sama vraví, že teda neveľa žien je naozaj možno takých zahryznutých do výsledkov, ako bola ona vo svojej kariére, ale že samozrejme teda na zvyšovaní toho, aby sa ženy zúčastňovali, môže byť práve ten taký zábavný faktor, to, čo by ich k tomu mohlo priniesť. And how it is in Norway, in your country?
We had just had the Oslo Marathon, and still it's more men running the marathon, and it's still more men running the half. But it's the women is coming, and they are more like now they are more fun runners, like they was back in the USA in the 80s. When I was running, it's not so. They don't need to run so fast, but they are in the race. And more like this type of thinking. I think that's the way of doing it. And if you have a lot of girls running, distance running, somebody wants to be good. And somebody wants to maybe take up the fight against the Africans and try to be as good as the European was in the 80s. Because we still have the girls out there who can do the same as we did. But I don't know why they are not doing it, but maybe because of the internet and iPhone, all these things we can do instead of training. I don't know, but maybe.
Tak my sme sa teda bavili o tom, že ako to je v Norsku, ako to je vnímané, tak nedávno sa uskutočnil maratón teda v Osle. No a áno, stále tých žien je menej na štarte, ako je mužov. A Ingrid sa tak dala do porovnávania tých 80 rokov, kedy behávala, alebo bola na vrchole tá jej generácia, s tým, čo sa deje teraz. A možno naozaj tie ženy, ktoré boli v tých 80 rokoch a dávali výsledky, aké dávali, tak v porovnaní s tými dnešnými možno namiesto tréningu, že teda mnoho žien alebo mnoho tej nežného pohlavia je viac vďaka internetu a vďaka iPhoneom práve možno týmto ovplyvnené. Keďže ich je aj viac, a to je možno, že taká tá druhá strana mince, tým, že viac žien beháva, tak je to taká väčšia základňa a niekto z nich si určite povie, že chcem byť dobrý a chcem dobehnúť možno práve tých ľudí z Afriky a práve toto možno bude naozaj to, čo bude poháňať tie ženy, ktoré môžu byť najlepšie v týchto časoch. So, you are for sure you are following your patriots from Norway because you have really pretty good runners there. Sonde Norstad-Moen, 2 hours 5 minutes 48.
But he is a man.
Yeah, he's a man. But I have also Runa Skove here, so 2:33. But still, you achieve better time.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's caused by what you mentioned already, right?
I think so. Maybe I was born in the 50s, and in the 50s in Norway we had not too much choices. So, and also the women couldn't run and go long distance skiing or running. So I was happy I wasn't born in the 40s, because if I had been born in the 40s, I never got my good results because then had been too old to do this long distance running. So I'm happy that I was in the 50s and not in the 70s, because when you're in the 70s you are too maybe spoiled and you don't need to train so hard, and you can go on vacation outside your country without running races, because we have more money, we can go, it's easier and cheaper to fly outside your country to vacation and so on. So maybe this was also something was in my mind. I can go motivation, can go out of my country to see the world by running fast. So I think maybe that's more like the Africans have it now. They can come out of their own country if they run fast. So I don't know, but maybe that's one of the reasons we ran faster in the 80s, I don't know.
Takže sme sa bavili o tom, keď sme tak troška porovnávali výsledky súčasných najlepších bežkyň a bežkyne, súčasné najlepšie bežkyne. Nórská je to a drží si svoje osobné best alebo osobný rekord teda na úrovni 2 hodiny 33 minút a 50 sekúnd. No a teda pýtala som sa Ingrid, že ako je možné teda, že boli v tých 80 rokoch rýchlejšie tie ženy. No a hovorila, že mala šťastie, že sa nenarodila v 40 rokoch, pretože to by teda nestihla tie behy na dlhú vzdialenosť, keby nestihla byť na vrchole svojej kariéry. Je rada, že sa narodila v 50 rokoch a je veľmi rada, že sa nenarodila napríklad v 70, pretože to už by bola potom veľmi rozhýčkaná a skazená, napríklad tým, že pre nich veľká motivácia, ako sa napríklad dostať z krajiny alebo vôbec cestovať, bolo ísť na preteky, ísť na medzinárodné podujatia. Potom už neskôr teda ľudia mali aj viac peniažkov a mohli sa vybrať do sveta a troška to porovnávala aj teda s tým, že ako to majú teraz práve tí bežci z Afriky, že pre nich to je naozaj, keď bežia dostatočne rýchlo, tak je to pre nich aj možnosť ísť za hranice svojej krajiny. Thank you very much for that, and I also know because you have this, you are answering me in the way that really you kind of have a message, or I feel it this way, that people really should run for fun. They should feel it and should they rather do it for a hobby, or you are also supporting really pro runners?
I think I also supporting and train runners who wants to try to reach the top. And when I tell them what I did every day, they don't believe me because I wasn't training as much as they are doing today. They are pushing much harder. I think some of the runners today, except in Norway, they're running too fast and too hard. If you look at which condition they are in, they're starting on a higher level. They're starting where they want to be. But they aren't there. And when you start, if you start running, you think you can run 10K in 35 minutes, but you are not good enough to run faster than 40. Then you never will come to 35 minutes because you're training too hard. And it's a lot of runners in Norway, fun runners and also athletes who's doing that. And I also think some of the runners can smile a little bit more and looks like they have fun when they are training. I feel that they are looking like they are doing this because somebody tell them to do it. And I don't think that's good.
Toto bol veľmi pekný odkaz teraz aj pre všetkých alebo teda profíkov, ale aj pre všetkých hobby pretekárov, pretože myslí si Ingrid Kristiansen, že v dnešnej dobe ľudia, ak sa snažia dosiahnuť výsledky a snažia sa teda zabehnúť 10 km za 35 minút a proste musia to tam dať a snažia sa veľmi, veľmi silno. Častokrát sú ako keby pretrénovaní, nepoužila presne tento výraz, ale hovorila teda, že trénujú veľmi silno a veľmi rýchlo a naozaj sa snažia to dosiahnuť a hovorí, že keď ona im hovorí tým svojim zverencom, ako vyzeral jej deň, ako vyzeral jej tréningový plán, tak jej nechcú veriť. Pretože oni majú prispôsobené jedálničky, majú prispôsobený presný plán týždňa, čo kedy, kde, ako bežať. A teda ona toto nepoznala a častokrát hovorí aj tým, ktorí chcú byť na úplnej špici, že by sa mohli možno, že o čosi viac smiať a keby z toho mali o čosi väčšiu radosť, tak by možno dosiahli naozaj lepšie výsledky. But except your sport career, you gave birth to 3 kids.
Yeah.
So, because I'm also mother, so I could assume that those years when you gave birth to your 2 boys and 1 girl, baby girl, so those years made some difference in your career?
Of course, the first one, he was born in 83. And I planned to run the World Championship marathon, the first marathon in World Championship for women, and I didn't know I was pregnant before 5 months pregnant. I ran the marathon when I was 3 months pregnant. I won the marathon in Houston 32. And I went back to Norway and trained, and went back to US and ran 2 road races, back to Norway again, and ran World Championship cross country. And I was so, that was so awful. And my coach wife, she saw the race on the television, and she said, it's something wrong with Ingrid. I'm afraid she's pregnant. He said to her husband, who's my coach. And I went to the doctor, and yeah, I was 5 months pregnant. So it was a short pregnancy. So I still trained then until he was born. Not too much running, I swam a lot, and I biked and I walked, and I came fast back again. So the first one cost me nothing. It was just happiness.
Tak to bolo naozaj pekné, pretože okrem toho, že teda Ingrid Kristiansen veľa športovala, tak okrem toho má aj 3 deti, 2 synov a 1 dievča. A teda ten prvý syn, to bolo, som sa smiala, veľmi také krátke tehotenstvo, pretože dozvedela sa o tom, že je tehotná až v 5. mesiaci. Dovtedy teda to sama netušila, nevedela, ešte keď bola v 3. mesiaci tehotenstva, tak teda bežala maratón, ktorý je vyhrala, potom išla na preteky bežkárske. A vtedy si všimla jej koučka, žena, videla preteky v televízii a všimla si, že z Ingrid niečo nie je v poriadku, niečo sa deje, asi je tehotná. A naozaj Ingrid v tom čase išla teda k lekárovi a zistila, že áno, je to tak. A je v 5. mesiaci. Takže to bolo také krátke tehotenstvo, potom už zvyšok. A stále trénovala, zostala pri tréningoch, takže prvý syn ju stal nič v podstate, veľmi rýchlo sa vrátila späť k teniskám. Okay, so the first one was easy.
Yeah, it was easy, but it was of course difficult to come back afterwards because we had almost 1 year to the Olympics. So I had to start up early. I asked my doctor how long I had to wait. And they said a month. And I started after a week. But I walked a lot, I jogged. I will call it more fast walking in the beginning. But after 5 months, I ran my first marathon back in Houston again, won the race, and ran my first one under 2:30. Then I ran 2:27, 5.5 months after my son was born. So this was easy, the first one. But later, when I got the second and the third kid, it was harder.
Tak to je naozaj ako keby taký fenomén, pretože po tom prvom dieťati vlastne zostával rok do ďalšej olympiády, potrebovala stať veľmi rýchlo dokopy a pýtala sa doktora, kedy môže začať po tom, čo porodila, kedy môže začať opäť trénovať. A teda lekár jej povedal, že teda by možno to 6. nedelie bolo fajn počkať teda nejaký ten mesiac, ale tak tréning začal už po týždni od narodenia bábätka a skutočne, keď mal maličký 5,5 mesiaca, tak vyhrala ďalší maratón, takže naozaj veľká vec. Okay, so, že potom to už bolo ťažšie. Okay, so are we going to the details about those? We can actually, I really want it, but So it was harder, you said, yeah?
Yeah, the first one I didn't know I was pregnant before 5 months.
Yeah.
And after the Olympics, when I didn't get medal in 88 because I had get an injury, my plan was to have a kid in 89. But because of what happened with me in the Olympics in 88, I get an injury in my one leg. And everybody said that Kristiansen now are out of business. She can't run anymore. And then I get like this, and I said to myself and to my husband, next year I will win the Boston Marathon and the New York Marathon. It was in 89. And I won both, and approximately 9 months after I won the New York Marathon, my daughter was born. But I knew just after some few weeks that I was pregnant because I get sick. I was so sick, I had to be in the hospital for weeks. I had throwing up everything I was eating, so that was not so good. So it took me a little bit longer to come back after her.
Tak sme sa bavili teraz tak troška o tých 80 rokoch konci, pretože v 88. teda na olympiáde bola Ingrid Kristiansen zranená a tak si povedala, že teda keďže prišlo to zranenie, takže teraz je čas na to druhé bábätko v jej živote, ale keď všetci začali hovoriť, že tak vďaka tomu zraneniu teda Ingrid už je za svojou kariérou, ona už nikdy teda bežať nebude, tak sa Ingrid teda riadne začala a povedala si, že v 89. im to všetkým ukáže. Tak aj bolo. Naozaj vyhrala hneď ďalšie 2 maratóny v USA. Jeden bol bostonský. Ten ďalší, myslím, že New York. New York. Áno. So that was a baby girl.
That was a baby girl. So I tried to come back, but I didn't find back as I wanted to be back. Was something happened with my body, so I ran the World Championship in 91 in 10,000 meter in Tokyo and came 5th place, and I went there for winning the race, but I was running outside my body. I wasn't into the race, so something it was something wrong, and that was because some doctors and some doctors told me that I had been living as a bulimic. When you're throwing up everything you're eating. I lived as a bulimic in more than 8 months. So you need to, and then when the baby was came and I start to feeding, training, my body was so down that I couldn't do the race as I want. I didn't. So I was down on the line, but I still ran 31 minutes on the 10K, so it was hard to come back, but I tried and tried. I never ran 30 again.
My sa tu teraz tak sme sa bavili teda o tých strastiach ženských pretekárov, pretože naozaj to tehotenstvo vie veľmi, veľmi ovplyvniť. Ona tak zaspomínala teda 91. rok na drahu v Tokiu, kedy nedosiahla taký výsledok, aký by si želala. A tak zvažovala, že teda ako, čím to môže byť spôsobené, a tréneri jej povedali, že samozrejme, keďže si bola tehotná, vtedy to bola dcérka, tak to bolo ťažšie, bolo tam naozaj práve tá taká nevoľnosť tehotenská a toto všetko vplývalo na tie výsledky ďalších rokov. Na druhej strane potom opäť sa na dráhu vrátila a opäť tým dríčom si to dohnala aj po tých deťoch. So okay, just to finish the topic, what about the third kid?
Even worse. Then I got...
A čo potom to tretie dieťa, lebo ideme z toho prvého a nevedela, že to na druhé teda akože ťažšie a že čo to tretie, aby sme to ukončili, takže ešte horšie. So we are really curious about the story.
I was sick after just after some few weeks again, and the same, and then it was really harder because having 2 kids. One was only 2.5 years, and I was pregnant, and I was so sick I couldn't be up, walking around. The only time I was good was when I was going with my kids to the kindergarten and back again. The rest of the day I was lying down and throwing up everything, so it was hard. But still, I hope to be back, and trying to run fast again, but after 2 years with the third kid, I found out that 3 kids with my history, the pregnancy history for the last 2, I couldn't manage it. So then I dropped out of the running in the age of 39.
Takže moje tretie dieťa v podstate bolo tým dôvodom, prečo som v veku 39 rokov ukončila svoju kariéru, pretože to bolo fakt náročné. Aj tehotenstvo, vďaka teda tehotenskej nevoľnosti, ale potom po porode už všetko, jediné, čo som bola schopná, bolo ísť pre deti do škôlky a ani nebolo pomyslenie na nejaké naozajstné trénovanie a behanie. Takže takto sme to zakončili aj s príbehom s deťmi. A ja by som možno teraz, ja som sa dozvedela veľa zaujímavých vecí, aj tak z takého svojho osobného pohľadu, možno aj niečo, čo vás veľmi zaujíma. Či už z tréningov, zo života Ingrid Kristiansen, budem naozaj veľmi rada, ak sa s nami podelíte o to, čo vám tak napadá v rámci toho, čo sme sa bavili.
Radka, kým si teda fakt tú otázku pripraviť, ktorý je veľmi slávny a má možno iný príbeh ako Ingrid.
He was on the press conference.
Ktorý vyhral všetkých 6 marathon majors, to znamená Berlín, Boston, Chicago, New York, Londýn, Tokio. Takže je tu známy ako náš ďalší host, ale tak chcel som ho privítať, prišiel trošku neskôr a chcel sa s Ingrid tiež stretnúť, takže vítam aj Jana a Zufu. Dobrý deň.
Ako hovoril, že som bol v Nórsku na Trollrigen, som liezol ako hovoril na Trollrigen.
I was climbing on the Trollrigen in Norway. I was climbing up there.
V 1973 roku.
1993.
1993.
A mám tam aj taký malý prvovýstup niekde na Trollrigen vedľa, čo je vedľa Trollrigen.
Also climb up there. So the Trollrigen. So he likes your
Bol som na najvyššom vašom kopci,
I used to be on your highest top of the Norway as well.
A tiež som behal na bežkách.
I used to do a cross country.
Yeah, that's good. Vasaloppe.
What does it mean?
In Sweden.
Yeah.
Ja sa spýtam možno tiež za vás. Neviem, či si spomínate teda, že Nórsko malo 2 skvelé bežkyne. Alebo malo teda Ingrid Kristiansen a Greta Weitz. Greta Weitz bola rovesničkou Ingrid Kristiansen, fenomenálna ako Ingrid. Preslavila sa víťazstvom v New Yorku, možno niečo o ich vzťahu a o ich superení a o tom, ako sa vnímali.
Something about your relationship towards her and how you maybe concur with each other?
It's always hard to tell the relationship between us two because she was a good runner in Norway and I was a skier and she used to be the winner and suddenly I came and break her winner career in Norway. And then she almost never went to the same race as me anymore. Maybe I think it's because she don't wants to be beaten. But I was going to all the races where all the best runners was because I want to be the best with the best, not going to races and be the best where some of them the best runners was in the race. So we were 2 really good runners from Norway, but we was all never on the same team because she never wants to travel with us. So I think that both Greta and me had been even better if we had been in the same team as the Norwegian team now with the team Ingrid Kristiansen. Most of the runners in Europe know about the team Ingrid Kristiansen, the 3 guys from the same family who run fast. And I believe in teamwork. You need to be happy with somebody else beat you in the same team because next time you will be the winner. So I believe in teams and that's something I think for example, for sure in Norway, it's too many small teams around they have their own coach and one athlete, and another place they have their own coach and their own athlete, and they are not training and do things together. And I don't think we will be better if we keep going like that. We need to be in a team and help each other to be winners.
Tak vzťah medzi týmito dvoma výbornými norskými bežkyňami je veľmi náročné popísať, pretože v tom čase, keď Ingrid teda vstúpila do atletiky, prelínalo sa to, pretože ona bola výborná bežkyňa a teda Ingrid bola ešte stále na bežkách. A keď Ingrid teda zavesila bežky na klinec a vstúpila do toho atletického sveta, tak zrazu začala vyhrávať. A samozrejme, to sa nepáčilo, no a skončilo to teda tak, že nikdy nechodili tie dve na rovnaké preteky. Ingrid sa stále snažila byť na pretekoch medzi najlepšími bežcami a s najlepšími bežcami, pretože chcela byť ona na tom vrchole a nešlo jej tak ani o víťazstvo. A tak sa teda dostala pri popisovaní vzťahu ich dvoch sa dostala k tomu, že verí v týmy, verí v to, že treba trénovať teda v tímoch, že to posúva tých bežcov a atlétov dopredu oveľa viac ako nejaký individuálny tréning a výkon. A že teda v Nórsku to majú v súčasnosti tak, že je strašne veľa malých rozdrobených tímov, kedy je tréner a atlet a nespolupracujú, netrénujú spolu a mohli by dosiahnuť oveľa väčšie výsledky, keby teda boli na spoločnom tréningu. Takže to bol taký odkaz, že teda verí v tímovú prácu. Tak ešte pozerám, nech sa páči.
Že či sa niektoré z jej detí venuje behu alebo inému športu vrcholovom, alebo teda či majú športovaný vzťah?
Any one of your three kids is in the profi sport career, or are they something?
One of my sons has been on a high level mountain biking, like Sagan. He was his really idol. After some years, 6 years on the Norwegian team on mountain biking, he went to the road racing for 2 years, but he dropped out of the racing and training last year because he fell down the bike in 75 kilometers an hour, and he was really afraid after that. So he's just a fun racer, a fun rogue, you know.
Takže jediný z mojich synov robí niečo tak profesionálne, niečo ako náš Sagan teda, tak ide o mountain biking, takže horská cyklistika, ale nedávno spadol v
Home. We had no cell telephone with us. I spoke to my coach maybe once a week. I saw him once a week, sometimes. But I had a training program, and we made together, he and me. But it was almost never a week I did what he said. Because I was a woman, and I think like a woman. And he was a man, and he was thinking like a man. Like he wants me to do this and this because it's important. And I said, yeah, but I haven't been sleeping tonight because I had to feed my kid. So I had to sleep a little bit more. So I had to drop out of the morning session. And he was angry the first time I said it. But afterwards, he saw my results was getting better and better. So he was impressed over that I was thinking by myself instead of listening to him the whole time. So after some time, we were a really good couple, thinking and doing the right things for me on my training. And I had my training schedule, and I write it down in my diary, what I did, what I was sleeping, how much I was sleeping, and how much I was, and everything else I did. So if I get tired, I could look back and see, oh yeah, I'm tired because I was doing that and that. So I used my head and listened to my body. Today, I think too many are doing the training because somebody had told you to do the training. And they are also, and they are also looking at Strava. You use Strava?
Do you have a Strava?
Yeah, I don't use Strava, but they are using Strava. And they see exactly what the competitors have done today. And then instead of listening to your own body, they go out and do something like that, instead of having their own focus on what they self are doing. I think that's one of the big problems today.
What about food? Sorry.
Food?
Before the race, what did you prefer?
Oh, I eat everything. The day before I ran my world record in London Marathon, I ate 4 big Mars chocolate.
No way.
Yeah, and that was because I like chocolate, and because they was the big sponsor for the for the race, and we had a big suite in the hotel, and also a lot of chocolate all over, and I was so hungry, so I ate. So if I tell some of the runners today that I did that, they don't believe me, but I did it. So I was relaxed. I remember half an hour before I ran a race in Japan, I was so hungry, I had to eat 2 pieces of bread. And the other runners was looking at me and said, oh, we are running in half an hour. Yeah, but I'm too hungry, so I have to eat now. And I was running fast. Somebody says you have to wait for 2 hours after you have eaten. I'm not sure. I didn't do that. I did it. I ate what I want to eat when I want to eat it. Again, be happy, do what you want, or do what you like is right for you.
Myslím, že thank you very much for this. Takže ja naozaj, že tak v skratke zhrniem, že teda dobre, ako oni, tak nepočúvate svoje vlastné telo, ale idete tak, ako idú oni a porovnávate sa, a to je podľa nej veľký problém, než pokiaľ pochopil, že teda to, že ona počúva samu seba, je pre ňu oveľa lepšie. Robila si denníky, to možno taká odpoveď na vašu otázku, že teda tie denníky boli skôr takými svoje dieťa, alebo išli zúbky, alebo čosi také. A potom tam bola tá ďalšia otázka o tej...
20-30 years ago than it's today, because today it's too much fast food, all this bad food you can eat, and of course we often do what's easy, so it's easy to eat something bad food. And I was trying to be at home most of the time. I didn't go too much outside of Norway to training camps, because when I stay at home I could make my own food, like porridge, fish, potato, all this kind of. So I was eating really good old Norwegian food every day. So that's important. And of course, once a day I took something that was not good.
Like chocolate. Yeah. With the chocolate we could end up our nice interview. I think it would be nice not after this. Tak ja to ešte teda preložím, že to jedenie, treba povedať, že pred 40 rokmi boli úplne iné ako je dnešné jedenie. Klasické staré norské jedlá, ako mäsko, zemiačky, ryby. A tak preto si myslím, že teda sa stravovala naozaj na takom ako keby dobre, hej, v tomto kontexte. Like maybe the last sentence about how you feel about upcoming.
The weather will be okay, so it's not raining too heavy. But of course we are doing an outdoor sport, so we have to take the weather as it comes. It looks like there will be a really good race. I'm seeing the course, and it looks like it's a fast course. It's a good course, and so I will be. I'm looking forward to see the atmosphere and everything, all the runners, and also the people who are looking at the race and everything around. So I look forward to it.
Thank you very much for interview. Tak sme sa bavili o tom, že národný maratón mieru. Tak teraz by sme sa mohli s Ingrid Kristiansen rozlúčiť aj potleskom za to, že s nami strávila túto hodinku.
pen for you.
Gold pen. Yeah.
Please. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.